All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Zoku Owarimonogatari, Episode 6, the series finale. Yep. 2 years we've been watching Monogatari, basically.
Yep.
And here we are.
And there's been nothing like it. I don't think there will ever be anything like it.
Yeah.
Like, this has been an experience that
One
I
hell
will
of a
remember
ride.
forever. And the character of Araragi has been ascending constantly in my mind over the course of this series. And here, we have him coming to terms with himself.
Yep.
Have him...
Where else would it end but here?
Yeah. We have him looking a bit inside and deciding who do you want to grow up to be.
Right. Because you're in a new chapter of your life now. So, how are you going to handle this?
And in some ways, they're like kind of having a second finale in some ways, because, you know, Owari
that continuation
was that, and then this is the continuation. Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, meta jokes and a lot of like little things and stuff in there to basically like have us feel like we can have some fun with the idea of like
the show being over.
What's like, what does this actually mean for the, like the hard plot, right? But like, There
is one more thing, though, that needs to happen in order to have a proper ending to this show. I may be wearing the Shinobu shirt right now, but we need to see Hitagi. So, yeah, I don't know how that'll happen, but it has to happen.
It must happen. I very much like humbly request.
It wouldn't feel right without it, you know?
Yeah, because what's going to be her new character design, essentially? Her alternate internal state, or inverted state character design, you know?
Or at the very least, after talking to Ogi and leaving this world, yes, Araragi has resolved things within himself.
Yes.
But now let's go back and let's see once more the world that he has on the outside.
Yeah.
So,
y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
This really is a great OP.
Yeah, I'm going to have to basically go back and rewatch all the OPs and EDs in succession.
To figure out which one's your favorite?
Yeah, because there's no way I could pick even 3 right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the obvious ones, I feel like Renai Circulation, you know, like...
But that's more because it's one that you remember perfectly, right? That's not necessarily just because it's the best one.
Right, exactly. So, I don't know.
Like, the first one with Ogi. Remember that? The first Ogi OP? Was that Owari Season 1?
Maybe? I'm not sure.
That one still gives me chills thinking back on it.
Yeah. Also, Oikura's OP. That one was amazing.
Oikura's, that's right. Oh. Hey.
So.
Nice. All right.
But is it cosplay if that's what you are?
Nope.
Right.
Oh. Nice. And then shifting the lighting to like that part in what was at the end of Oni. It's just a prank, bro. Oh, that. Yeah. The hair. Oh my god. Nothing's odd around here. Yeah, exactly. Oh. Ah.
Ah, okay.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, you really aren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Final. Whoa.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Recap.
Right.
Yep. Well, that's that was a crazy image there.
Okay, Morpheus.
That'd be a pretty sick joke.
Yeah. It's quite a thing to pull, even for a little bit in the final episode of a show.
I mean, it's something to think about.
Yeah.
It's a theoretical possibility.
And potentially some truths could be, gathered from that, from exploring it.
Yeah. 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 Okay, now that we got that out of the way.
The Huns.
Ha. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, good question. Great question. They might not be, but still a good question. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he did. Right.
That is the question.
This again?
Oh. Oh. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's not perfect. Oh. Yeah, it's flawed slightly. Whoa.
Okay.
No, the hypothesis hasn't been made yet. It's just. Oh.
Right. Okay.
This is getting trippy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so Aragi couldn't have entered this world without permission. That was nice. They showed like 20% of the frame there. Okay, yeah. Well, you, right? Oh, cool. What?
All right.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna need an explanation on that because I don't know what the Kunibiki legend is, but. Wow. okay.
But this still seems to be talking mechanics.
Mm-hmm. It's just informing how Araragi is going to decide to do things.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Wow. Oh.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Nice. That is the question.
And without losing the additional 20%.
He'd do it again without a second thought.
Really?
Oh. Oh.
Right. Nowhere near on the table. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. The abyss staring back at you.
Mm-hmm. Just whatever was lying around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like how it's being looked at like this a security camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice.
Cool.
Oh.
Torch officially handed off. Right.
Nice.
Think and reflect on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Right.
it's a part of life, yeah.
One might say that's what this already was.
Mm-hmm. But now there's a very specific missive being given to do it. Who are you? Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Wow. Oh, okay.
All right.
And now we're here. Oh,
Yep.
Hachikuji, yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Okay. Whoa!
Wait.
Whoa! Hey! Ah, no! I know, me too, Araki! Wait, what?
Good for you, Senjo.
Oh my god!
Good for you.
Oh! Oh! Wow. Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Promise.
Yeah. Why not both? Wow. Nisio helping out the audience.
Yeah.
Right. Right. From everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, like this isn't fully me. Yeah. Hey.
Ah. Yes.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
Oh.
Whew, yeah, bringing it into the light.
Acknowledging it. Yeah.
And that's not really important, yeah. Nice. Sure. Okay.
But
Also possible, yeah.
it's dealt with now. Right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Awesome. But you've learned from them and accepted them. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, this is perfect. Oh.
If those were the regrets, Senjo wasn't there.
Oh.
No regrets as far as you were concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
All right.
There we
Yes.
go. Yeah. Oh, that's.
Oh. Oh.
There we go. There we go.
Oh. Whoa,
3-second
the
delay.
call back. Whoa.
But then again, does it really matter?
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. Wow. Uh-huh.
Jump.
Jump, yeah. Yeah, do both, yeah. Just leap forward into the future.
Nice.
Rather than second guessing how or why you're going to do this. Oh. Fall forward.
That's great. Yep. There we go.
Oh.
An extra 20%. I love it.
Oh my God.
Oh, in the 1 second.
Nice. Oh.
I love it. I love it. Oh, that was great.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Cool. Excellent. Excellent stuff. Okay. That's the end of a series.
Wow. Oh.
Okay. We got Senjo. We got Senjo.
We got Senjo, and we didn't get her in the mirror world,
Right.
which is important because no regrets there. Oh my God.
That was wonderful.
Oh.
That was wonderful.
I love the idea in that when they started getting into the mechanics, I was a little worried that I was going to be confused about like what the reason why that they were spending so much time on it.
Right, because that's not the main thing of how it works. It's why it happened.
Yeah, exactly. But it came basically back around to that, no, this was something that needed to be faced so that you could move on. And your regrets being all of them, and in some ways it's not important as to what was the great regret or something, because life is never like that. Nothing can be boiled down into something so black and white, if you will.
Right. It could have just been a general sense of regret, you know. Yeah.
And they all played some contributing factor, just in the same way that all of them were, you know, connected to you via relationships. Of course, their incidents are ones you care about, so you could end up having little bits of regret. But because you basically acknowledged all of it as being like worthwhile, and also just times that you could have done things better, but why not just leap forward and
go for it.
Not measure any of it. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Such a wholesome, awesome, good ending. There.
That was excellent.
What a stunning conclusion.
That was excellent. That was so good. I gotta say, there were a lot of things that felt very self-aware and targeted to the audience within how this episode was structured and how it was written and everything. Like the fact that Senjo basically, you know, gives the summary, like TLDR, simplified explanation of, you know, of things, and they have that conversation. It's like,
well, it was just two of them.
Well, they are two of them.
Araragi was more the one doing it because he was basically sharing the story of what he experienced, regardless of whether it was a dream or whether it was him experiencing a full-on mirror world oddity that shaped everything around him. That's not really important. The main thing is that he's actually like then able to come to grips with it and then pass this along to Senjo. And even Senjo's a little bit like, wait a minute. And what's the explanation here?
Right. And I really love that as a story choice, because for the final episode to get into a lot of, like, to ask a bunch of questions like this and to go into the like in-depth mechanics of everything, I was a little bit worried, for a second. I was like, wait a minute, is this episode going to end, especially since it was a longer episode than even most of the longer than usual Monogatari episodes.
Okay.
Is there going to be something that that I'm missing, or the episode's going to end and I'm still not going to get it, right? Mm-hmm. But nope, it was very much like here's all the in-depth detail stuff, but then afterwards, just in case, you didn't track along with that, let's go back through it so that we'll make sure everything's clear, so that we can have that nice end with a bow conclusion.
And it basically did boil down to Araragi having a moment of self-reflection,
right,
that basically told him, you need to do this more often.
Sure.
And there's going to be a lot more soul searching and just internal looking into this kind of thing, because no, you didn't just resolve everything overnight or something like that. This is something that you explored, and you did a lot of good exploration in this and found out that basically that lost 20%, that lost bit of yourself that was stuck in the past that you hid as your heart was repressed in this way, or suppressed, that's something that you can just bring out at times. This is something that you can also just move on from after accepting and acknowledging that, yes, you had a lot of regrets regarding that, but
Senjo wasn't one of them.
It doesn't have to be something that you carry onward with into the future, looking at it in a negative lens.
Right.
You will still carry it with you,
but that's
it'll still be there. But that's not a problem.
Yeah. And I love that for all the in-depth mechanics conversations and things like that, when it came right down to it, what was the regret? That's not important. It could have been a ton of different regrets. It could have been an amalgamation of all of them, right?
Yep.
But the point is that it was general regret. Araragi has come to better understanding of himself and what those might have been, and accepted them and allowed them to be brought into the light, regardless of which one individually it was.
Yeah, in some ways, that's kind of one of the wonderful things about Ogi, is that Ogi is in some ways an amalgamation of all the oddities. Thus, in some ways, Ogi does have an essence of, connection back to the regret in general, by being that reflection, if you will, that inversion of you, Araragi.
And I love that, the whole line of, but you weren't there because there is no part of, my relationship with you, my connection with you that I regret, right? I love that. The poetry of it is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
But then also from the standpoint of the whole best girl war thing, it's like, no. This is kind of it feels to me like it's a specific way of saying this is why Senjo is best girl. It's not just because that was how the events of the timeline and everything ended up coming into play or things like that. But this lesson that Araragi basically needed to learn of living free of the regret, I feel like Senjo was that happening before he had even learned the lesson. Because yes, there are no actual regrets that he could think of or speak of, but even if there were, I think it would have been something where he would have been accepting of them because of the relationship that they have, right? So then that's am I making any sense?
I'm tracking.
Okay. Yeah. Cuz it's
but I don't really care too much about the whole best girl debate in general. It's just something that I feel like if anything, it's more of just saying this is Araragi getting his happy ending that he deserves.
For sure,
one that he fought and struggled and went through so much to basically find. And when it comes down to it, the idea that maybe all of it could be sabotaged in the end with that little bit of worry or maybe a little bit of paranoia or some type of thing of him looking into himself and getting a little bit of oh no, there's all this extra stuff in there I still have to deal with. And it's no, this is important that you come into this whole thing looking into yourself and seeing that there's some, issues still in there. Yeah, for sure. But the act that you're actually willing to address them and go and look internally shows that you are headed in a wonderful direction, Araragi. So you just keep on going, keep on plugging along.
Yep.
And if you ever get to times where, yes, you are stuck, literally paralyzed of, I don't know which step to take. I have literally no way of knowing whether I'm making a better step by going this way or a better step by going this way. It's a coin toss.
But sometimes you can just jump.
Don't worry. Just take a leap. I remember multiple times growing up, I had two people in my life that said the exact same thing in different ways. And it took me like 6-7 years or something like that before I really kind of got what they were saying. And I think it was from the time I was about 15 that they basically said to fail forward. It was the essence of when you're growing up, you're going to make mistakes.
Sure.
A lot of them. And the idea is that you won't even really know that they were a mistake or something like that. And you will do self-reflection and see at times that you have regrets regarding specific things. That's a guaranteed. We're not telling you to don't have any regrets because, one, that's impossible. Like, there's so many people that are like living the message of live life with no regrets. And it's like, that's a great ideal. But the actual reality of it is in the moment, you will have regrets just constantly.
Yep.
So
it's how you handle them, whether you let them actually take root or whether you just accept them and take it in stride.
Right. Or whether or not, like you said, you take them in stride. Accepting them, I think, is the main point here that Araragi kind of figured out, was that these regrets and kind of acknowledging them is basically saying, do I have regrets? Well, hell yeah. Am I going to just sit in a mirror world and kind of just stew in them and try to figure out like what's the best way to overcome them? No. If anything, like go leap forward into tomorrow and grasp the hand of Senjo and just come what may, you'll do it together. Like there's so many things about this that could apply perfectly to real life that I just love the idea of it all essentially ending with them just leaping towards the light of the possibility of the future, where that's the vague ending part of it, which is, is Araragi's future secured? Is everything going to be, and they lived happily ever after? No, that's not the point.
Right.
No.
So one of the other things that I want to bring up, so the, and this is kind of what I was trying to get at with the whole idea of Senjo being the true sort of best girl, you know, is that it's not that Senjo is a perfect person. It's not that Araragi is a perfect person, but they are perfect for each other in this situation, right? They complement each other. Her being the one to help remind him, hey, sometimes you just leap when that happens, right? That's an encapsulation of why and how they help each other so much. But here's the thing. Senjigahara, up till now, up till basically, you know, just here that we saw, she was still kind of living in Hanakawa's shadow of being like, oh, can I really be my true self? Am I good enough as I am?
Who am I?
Right?
I need to do some self-reflection.
Exactly.
I looked in the mirror and found that I was missing 20% or something.
Right.
And it was something that was left behind via some regrets, probably one of them in this case being one of, yes, because I saw that Hanakawa was one that my boyfriend was very
originally
much
crushed on,
Yes, very much originally in a very big crush situation with. I am going to put on a little bit of an extra, little bit of something so that I can appeal to his
right, as opposed to I'm Araragi Koyomi. What you see is what you get.
Yep.
I'm Senjigahara Hitagi. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Right. And that's there you go.
Right.
Like so. Yeah.
It's a perfect way to show that they both grew up over the course of the story.
Exactly.
But in the end cap moment, there was something that they each were willing to essentially let go of.
Right.
And that's, I would say, something where I'm really happy for them. But since we got a lot more focus with Araragi's being one that was him having this conversation with himself, you know, this little inner monologue with his shadow in this case, you know, not the inverted, you know, aspect that was, you know, warped or whatever because he brought the mirror world over to the other side here. I mean, that is kind of a way of showing that, yes. No, I'm not going to make that joke.
Okay.
I was going to make the joke of there isn't a mirror world.
Oh, there's no such thing as mirror world? Yeah.
No, but this world being brought over here and Ogi basically helping Araragi understand that this was something that needed to be, I can get the dialogue specifically of what she said here. But this is something that needed to be basically offered up and sacrificed. This was something that needed to be absorbed into the darkness and just completely like abandoned here.
Okay.
And it was something that, you know, you will end up, you know, thinking of bringing that up. But when Araragi took the little bit of darkness there with the perfect mirror with zero reflective surface and 100% absorption.
Right.
Let me see if I can find that bit here specifically. It was right before she started listing off all the things there. This was... Dang it, I can't find it. I'll see if I can bring it up later. But
okay.
It felt like it was something where the act that Araragi made was more than just, I'm going to put on essentially who I am here. Mm-hmm. It was the harder part of basically saying, okay, this bit here that I hid in the past, that regret, that repressed part of my heart or what have you, I'm going to basically surrender that, offer it up, you know, at the shrine, and basically be okay with moving on entirely.
Right.
I feel like that's the harder thing because it doesn't show an immediate direct path. It doesn't basically say, okay, now because you let that go, there's a very obvious next step. It's I don't know what the next step is,
but that's
giving
okay.
that up. Right. But that's the thing that makes his act here really special, was that he still didn't know at the point when he actually like came into, you know, share everything with Senjo. So sharing that whole story was kind of him processing it out again, doing some self-reflection, but with her, because they're vulnerable with each other and they share these kinds of things. So
it's that whole thing where regardless of what the path is moving forward, because the internal battle has been won, because he's resolved things within himself and he understands and accepts who he is and everything. Now, what could possibly go wrong? You know, like
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. That's onward into the journey that is life.
Yeah. And when you're growing up, there's going to be plenty of moments where you basically take something that was in your past and you look at it and you realize that it is something you have to acknowledge happened and basically accept as part of who you were. Mm-hmm. But the present moment, if you will, is all you'll ever really have with what makes who you are. Except that there is the acknowledgement that needs to happen that the past did bring you to this point.
Right.
However, in any given moment in the point, you can choose what foot and what step to take.
Yep.
And yet you are not locked into some binary existence where you must choose either to basically go one way or the other. There's all kinds of chaotic, wonderful possibility in between and surrounding that, and abstract ways of jumping around this to where, these moments are limitless in that. You don't have to be tied back by something that happened in the past.
Right.
Like locked you into a specific set of choices.
Or some notion of what is the correct way to proceed.
Yeah.
You know, which is what Ogi kind of represented. So that's, the more and more I think about it, the more I love Ogi and how Ogi's specifically handled. Not just for the standpoint of Araragi, because there's Araragi as an individual, as a character and everything, right? And Ogi definitely is finely crafted to be that other side of him specifically, but also as just the general idea of coming of age, right? Of growing up and everything. The more and more I think about how Ogi is handled, the more and more I love their place in the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was a couple things in the mechanics of stuff that were a little confusing. Like, I don't know what the Kunibuki legend is. I'm sure someone will pass that along to us via Discord or the comments or what have you.
Right.
But this was a really strong end to the series by having they kind of had the it was all a dream and it wasn't a dream thing there, because it wasn't that like we had any doubt in our mind that
not actually
the entire story was a dream. No. Was this little experience of pulling out the mirror world a dream? It doesn't really matter. The point is that it was an element of self-reflection for Araragi as he was about to go and get his exam test results, which had a whole lot of stress, a whole lot of potential paranoia, and then also just the idea of him getting to go, whoa, this is where I am. Who am I? And then he looks at himself in the mirror and is like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not certain of what I see.
Yeah,
and
that depth of certainty,
And thus we then get this abstract story here, which then leads to a rather wonderfully simple ending, and it just feels really good to have this extra ending, if you will, be one that solidifies the past so that we can actually have Araragi move on to the future.
Yeah.
Because while Ogi being accepted was a huge part of the finale of Owarimonogatari Season 2, that element of acceptance being something that is just the first step. And then once you accept that part of yourself that you had either repressed or you didn't understand or you were unable to basically reconcile in some way, the past can still have that influence on the present and stuff. So you need to go through the process of bringing it up, talking about it, accepting it. And then the idea that the series ends with him having a conversation, because, of course, Monogatari. Yep. And the conversation is about how he's processing some elements of his past, and then in the present has a little bit of a fun, like, little banter bit about, okay, then what does this mean for the future?
Yep.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? That's the perfect way to...
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love that as a potential, as a not as a tie-in really, but as a since the next time chronologically that we see Araragi is in Hana Monogatari, when he's got his Zen master long hair, which I'm still not too sure about, but
you'll come around.
Yeah,
you'll come around.
But that's going from this place to that where he resolves everything within himself. He is accepting and everything, and whatever comes in the future, it's okay. He'll meet it with a smile, or as best he can. We don't need to see the exact connective tissue from here to there, right? Because we know that the battle was won in here, and that's the important thing.
Yeah. I gotta say they continued with the meta humor. You mentioned that earlier, and I really liked that they kind of brought it up again in the joke, but also in the conversation end of so it wasn't actually lazy writing.
No, right.
No, it wasn't actually. It was all like very, very much in a way that made sense, and the parts that were left vague or confusing are there because it's not meant to be entirely explained to Araragi.
Right. Because and which makes so much sense, because since this whole story is essentially being told to us by Araragi, right? Araragi is a human being. He's not going to have a perfect understanding of all his internals and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So if there are a couple things that feel like they're left unresolved, that's fine. That's fine, because they don't need to necessarily be mechanically resolved as long as the emotions surrounding them are handled, which they were.
Yeah. This part here was rather cool with Araragi saying here, all I did was remember them and confront them. And that's probably good enough.
Yep,
I
love that line.
And then follows it up with, I can't carry them all with me. And I like this because when I was saying earlier that he's basically going to be carrying them with him, is basically that he's going to be remembering them. He can't just wipe them all out and forget them. But as to which one is like the primary true regret or something, no, that will actually get lost to time. In fact, it already has at this point. So then, Senjugahara kind of has this moment of she's going to in a second. He says, but it's fine if I reminisce about them from time to time.
Right. And they don't have to be a burden for him.
Exactly.
But he'll still remember them.
Right. It's the idea that carrying denotes some aspect of, like you're saying, something that will be a weight that will have to be held on to. Whereas you can actually move on by leaving them on the ground there and looking back every once in a while and going, yeah, let's look at that, or even travel back to those points and take a little bit look at that. But then she kind of goes into it being like, oh, wait, now I'm actually more curious. Which one of those did you truly regret?
Right.
And I like the idea that she actually is potentially giving the audience of, if this is a meta joke of the differences between everyone's perceptions of you seem to be a hint. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Actually, there was a lot of difference of perceptions with regards to things there, and there were a couple ones that stood out potentially a little bit more. And it's like, oh wait, Senju Gahara is really smart, so maybe there is something there. And I love that Araragi like quickly kind of like bats that aside because he's like, opportunity. Like, oh my god, this is the perfect segue.
Yep.
And she kind of, I think, maybe even noticed that it was not the point, because she kind of goes, or whatever, you know.
Well,
it's not really necessarily important. And then he just goes, oh, well, there's only one thing I'm certain of. And
then he grabs her and pulls her close.
Pulls her in, and it's just like, you see her blush, you see her just be like, oh my god.
And what I love about this, other than just how wonderful the scene is in general, but Senjo is the type of character that has already made a ton of meta jokes herself. Even being like, well, I have a very talented voice actress after all, right? You know, things like that. But when she's pressing the subject of what was the big regret, though, that could be a meta joke, you know, but it could also be a bit of her insecurity of like, well, hold on, what is my place here, right? Is there actually some big regret that you aren't thinking of, aren't looking at, or whatever that comes before me, or could, you know, like, hold on, what's the situation here, right?
Right, because he was not omitting. She felt maybe like she was omitted from the story of like, well, I would have liked for you to. See, and it could have been meaner to me or something like that. And I think that was more of the joking, but also you're right. I think the insecurity thing could be there because it's like, well, was there really nothing? Like,
was it something where maybe you didn't want to say what the regret was that you saw in there that was with me, like you're keeping that close to the chest or something, like, you know, who knows, right? There could have been all these potential insecurities there, and we don't know exactly what they might have been for Senjo, or if they were even there necessarily, but then when he gives that line of there's one thing I can be certain of, and he pulls her close to him, I love it because it's him basically telling her, no, you don't have to worry about a thing. And that faint little blush there that we get there just tells us that his words went straight to her heart.
Oh yeah, it went right through there. And that was just wonderful. And I love that even in this moment that's adorable. She's like, okay, I'm actually gonna prop a joke here. Oh, save that for after you've seen your exam results. If you failed, we'll be split up. Basically, like, hey, I love you too and all, but like, if you botched these results, then we'll end up going to different universities, or just you won't end up going to university, you know. But I like that this is a worry that's not resolved or anything in the episode, because if anything, it could just be this is the kind of thing that made him stressed enough to do the self-reflecting in the initial bit.
And they'll all figure it out regardless.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter. And then the callback, though, to crossing the street. That was huge. Like, of all the little things from, like, earlier parts of Monogatari, this just felt like one of those ones of, like...
Because... I believe that was Ogi's first introduction. I'm pretty sure that her first introduction in what would that have been, Kabuki? I'm not sure, but when the arc that ended up doing the time travel with Shinobu that we thought was going to be the Hachikuji focus, but then it ties back around to when Hachikuji goes away. She talks with Araragi about the whole idea of the crossing the street in the 3 second, like transition period where all the lights are stopped.
Exactly.
Hesitation everywhere, you know, like,
It's just something where I'm really excited now to go back and rewatch the series and catch all the foreshadowing and watch all the little moments, and maybe even like switch up the order a bit, do all kinds of stuff.
See what it was like for people that had to wait till 2016 for Kizu Part 3 to come out, Oh, man.
But y'all, this has been a treat of a series.
It has.
Quite a fun journey. Quite a wild, long journey.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like even though like I like definitely like didn't get like 100% of the story all the way through.
Oh, me neither. Yeah.
Like, this is something where I feel like I've ascended as an anime fan in some ways, and I now just have to go back and do my due diligence and rewatch the series so that I can
Study
get
that toothbrush scene.
Like, I mean, you know, there's a lot of other wonderful moments in the show that I can get a lot of, you know, extra juice out of. So, if anything, like, I'm really, really interested to continue the conversation surrounding this story with all y'all. And this is one that I believe they're not doing anymore, right?
So yeah, I've been told that there is additional light novel content about Araragi in university.
Oh, whoa.
But
so is Nisio just still writing
I think so.
light novels?
I think so. But the series is done. So I'm not entirely sure how that'll work.
This isn't a Hunter x Hunter situation where there's stuff still coming, but it's like it will never be.
Like this story was the story of, you know, Araragi's final year in high school, coming of age and all of that stuff, growing up, and that's happened. So the story is over.
My basic thing is mechanically then I can go and interact with all y'all regarding this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no worry of spoilers.
I don't think so.
If anything, it's going to be in light novel format, and it probably won't be adapted into anything specific.
Who knows?
Also, that's the other thing. I don't know what is the most recent chronological release of Monogatari content, because, you know, it's all watched out of order and stuff like that. So it's just a question of what will actually be the thing that, you know, was most recently given. So I don't know if there's been like a gap of time.
I believe it was Zoku in 2018. So I think this was the last of it.
This was the last thing.
And it was a couple years ago, which would have been about when we started.
Yeah, so then if there was any more, they would have announced it probably by now.
I would think so. Yeah,
but I mean,
because Nisio is a machine as far as cranking out light novels.
Gotcha. But I mean, this is also Shaft we're talking about.
That is true.
Nisio doesn't have, like...
Yes. Well, they have ammunition, I believe.
Right, yeah, exactly. So if anything, then, guys, like, this is probably one of those rare times in the channel where we're actually finishing a series. Yeah. And it's not something where there could be more seasons made, you know, in 7 years or something like that. Well, there could probably with this, but there probably won't be in this story, like, specifically.
Yeah, it would be a new thing.
Yeah, it would be a new thing. With,
even if it has the same characters.
Right, right, with like Araragi and Senjo in university or something like that.
Right. But, Monogatari after story, you know, yeah.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching through this reaction series, all the way through this. This has been just something else. This has been so good, and I really, really love that we actually got a full-on, like, complete package here. I couldn't have believed what would happen if we basically got to that point where we had finished, you know, like Owari season 2, and it was like, oh, there's an after story thing, there's an epilogue thing coming, but you have to wait a few years.
Right.
I've been like, wait, what? There's another ending.
There's
after
more.
the
Wait,
ending?
Hold on. Yeah, the ending just happened. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But we're announcing now the show that's coming after this, y'all. And it's going to be Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep, going from Hunter x Hunter to Monogatari and back to Yu Yu Hakusho.
Back to Takagi, you know? Yep. There you go. And this is going to be reacted to in the English dub.
Yep.
This has been probably one of the most requested shonen series that we've had on the Discord specifically for a long time.
Very long time.
Very long time.
Yeah.
And it's been its first time that it's actually been on a poll. It barely won. And we're really excited to get into that. So if you want to see the first episode's reaction to Yu Yu Hakusho in the dub right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. All this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about Monogatari as a show, about anime in general, about like all kinds of stuff like that. But also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yeah, all the info for that is in the description down below. Lots of good stuff there.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.